Okay, let's begin. Right, welcome everyone. Welcome to the second class in the business writing course. And today we are going to focus on how to write a proposal. Okay, for the next two lessons, we are going to learn how to write proposals, effective proposals. Now, the aim of a proposal is for your boss to read the proposal and think, wow, this is a really good idea, let's do it. So I'm going to teach you how to write proposals which will impress your boss. Okay? And we're going to look at the grammar for suggestions and proposals. And we're going to learn some chunks and some set phrases. Okay? And I will explain the difference between chunks and set phrases when we get there. Okay? So, what I'd like to do first is to talk about the structure of a proposal. What kind of organization, what kind of information do you need to include in a proposal to make your proposal effective and persuasive? Your proposal should have three parts, okay, or three elements. The first element we call the situational review. And in the situational review, you basically have to draw a picture. Okay, you have to paint a picture about the situation. And in your picture of the situation, let's say, for example, you notice something in your company which could be improved. Or maybe you have an idea about some new project or some new product or something new. Okay, so you need to begin by describing the total situation. You need to include information about facts. Okay, what are the facts of the situation? Then you need to include some information about past events. Any important events which happened in the past which created the situation that you want to change. Then you need to describe the present situation. What is happening at the moment in the situation? What are the current trends? What's the current market trend? What's the current trend in your industry? What is the current trend in the company? What is happening inside the company? And then, finally, you need to give a forecast, okay? You need to describe how do you think this situation will develop in the future if your boss does not agree to your proposal. How will the situation continue to develop in the future? So, in fact, in your situational review, you need to cover all of this kind of information. Okay? Facts, past events, present situation, and a forecast about how the situation will develop. And that's the first element. Now, the second element, this is where you put forward your brilliant idea. Okay? And we call this section the proposal. This is like the main part of the proposal. This is where you present your brilliant idea which will change the situation or which will improve the situation. Okay? We call that the proposal section. Then, in your third section, we call this the assessment. And this is the most important part of the whole proposal. Because this is the part of the proposal where you will show your business thinking. Okay? So, for example, in the assessment section, you will include a SWOT analysis. Can you remember what SWOT analysis means? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Okay? Threats. I'm sure you know this from your business school, right? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So in the assessment section, you have to describe your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Then you also need to include a CBA. What's a CBA? CBA is cost benefit analysis. So you have to describe how much will it cost? What are the benefits? What are the weaknesses? What benefits can we gain? What problems will we have? So you do your cost benefit analysis in your assessment section. Also in your assessment section, you will need to include information about different scenarios. Do you know what that means, scenario? Scenario means you imagine different situations. For example, if we increase our price by 2%, this will happen. That's scenario 1. If we increase our price by 10%, this will happen. Scenario 2. If we increase our price by 15%, this will happen. That's scenario 3. So you need to include different kind of scenarios in your assessment section. You also need to give some information about timeline. Okay, how long will it take to implement your idea? And also some information about budget. Okay, you have to include a budget. So really, in the assessment section of your proposal, you will need to show your boss your business thinking. And probably when your boss reads your proposal, your boss will focus on the assessment. You know, the first thing your boss will ask, if you give your boss a new idea, the first thing your boss will ask is, how much is it going to cost? Okay? So you need to show this information in the assessment section. So your proposal then should have these 3 different elements. And we can think about this as a hamburger. Right? This is like a hamburger. Here you have your meat, and here we have your sandwich, your bread. And to make a really delicious hamburger, you've got to have all 3 sections. If you don't have this, and if you don't have this, if you just present your idea to your boss, then it's not a delicious hamburger. It's just a cheap steak with bad quality meat. Okay? So you will need to include these 3 elements in your proposal. Now, let's have a look at the different language that you need to use when you are writing your proposal. Let's have a look at the different grammar that you need to learn. In your situational review, the language you need to focus on when you are writing is verb tenses and future chunks. So, if you have already watched the first class in this course, if you've already seen the VOD on the first class, then you will know how to use verb tenses and future chunks to write the situational review. And in fact, the material and the things that you learned in the previous class, in the previous VOD, you were learning how to write a situational review. Okay, so in the situational review, you need to focus on verb tenses and future chunks. In the middle section of your report, of your proposal, you will need to focus on the language for suggestions and proposals. Okay, you need to focus on the grammar, correct grammar for writing suggestions and proposals. And the final section, you need to focus on the grammar of consequences and possibilities. Okay, so in this class, we are going to focus on this language here, how to write the proposal section of your document. And in the next class, I'm going to teach you the language for consequences and possibilities. Okay? All right then, so let's begin with our class. The proposal section we're going to focus on today, and we're going to look at the important grammar that you need for this section of your document. And we're going to begin with a case study. We're going to begin by doing some reading. Okay, so please look in your handouts at task 1. And you will see some information about this company called 不舒服 Pharmaceutical. A pharmaceutical company, do you know what that means? That means a company which makes drugs or medicine. Okay, so please read the task 1 just to understand the background. Right, let's talk about it together. You can see in the background box that this company is located in Taipei, and they have some problems in the office. Morale is low. What does morale mean? Morale means that the feeling in the company is very negative. The atmosphere is very bad. People don't enjoy working in this company. And there is a high staff turnover. This means that people come and they stay and they leave very quickly. Okay? If you look at the picture, maybe you can see why people don't enjoy working in this office. Okay? And the office manager has asked a consultant to suggest ways to improve the office and to improve the company feeling and to improve retention. Retention means keeping their staff, to stop people leaving. Okay?